Hello and welcome back. The recording's working. Not gonna be painted with a hat. You will accompany me back to your camp while I will meet with your leader and present Lord Quintus's demands. Before we depart, however, there is something I would ask of you. Assuming your contingent complies, the supplies they surrender will need to be transported here. That task falls to Legionnaires Marcellinus and Octavia, who will pilot Magitech armor to your headquarters. You are to inform them that we are leaving shortly. Tell them to ask the Isle for further details in those words. Once you've seen to that, meet me by the exit. You again? Ask the Illo, he said. So that is the way of it after all this. Ironic that you should be the one to deliver the news. If those are my orders, then so be it, for the glory of Garlemald. The reason why I sometimes might sound a little bit out of between these episodes is I go downstairs between in between this episode and the last episode to check on my mom. What do you want with me? Asked the hill, so Lord Quintus has reached a decision. I know he would understand. He would recognize the savage is a ruthless, merciless creature, and to defeat him, we too must be uncompromising. I am ready in the name of Emperor Varus for the glory of Garlemald. I will fulfill my duty. I heard that he's asking 2 Elysians to do that. Or Elizans. Have you done as instructed? Duty is rarely a simple thing. We have been given additional orders, though. Whether we will be required to follow them depends entirely on your contingent. You and I are in this together now. Like it or not, we have to cooperate. There is one other matter of place I'd like to visit on the way to your camp. It's a short walk from here. Follow me. Follow me. I forgot to set my alarm. I have the alarm set now. Not alarm, timer. Yeah, this is gonna be the last episode I'm gonna be recording this session. I died. I'm tired. I got up at 1 in the afternoon, and I didn't have a lot of peaceful amount of sleep because of a certain kitty who doesn't want her daddy to sleep. Lingers by the ruins, reluctant to leave and reluctant to stay, unable to move on. I guess that's for lightning strikes.
This is my home. Our home. At least it was until that night. I was with Lord Quintus when the capital fell, and thus spared. My family, who did not own a radio, were less fortunate. When dawn came, I made my way here. My parents, my little brother and sister, they were still inside. But they weren't themselves, and they tried to. And I had to. I'd promised to take them away from the capital that very morning, to somewhere safe, to hide until the fighting stopped. I promised. The Garlean flag bears a chain, the bonds between our countrymen. A red link at its center, the blood of the fallen. Our loved ones who lived and died for Garlemald. But if she too fell, who would be left to remember them and their sacrifice? What enduring proof would there be that they were ever here? If we had turned to your gods, would they have saved us?
Hmm.
I'm sorry, forget I spoke. We should go.
It's no use.
Believe me, I do not enjoy being here any more than you. But he wanted us to play along, so that is what we will do.
Can you guys still use magic without your tools, though?
It's so cold.
Painfully so. Unbearably.
I've been thinking about what Quintus said. About why no one would accept Garlean rule. Irreconcilable differences. When coexistence isn't an option, only conquest remains. Varys at Gimlet said much the same. Only by uniting the world beneath a single standard would we rid ourselves of the Ascians. United as one people. One race cleansed of imperfections. A cold and unforgiving vision. And when we fail to live up to their standards, what place is there for us in their world? But the truly sad, truly frustrating thing is how damnably similar it all is to the lofty ideals of Father and the Forum. Non-intervention. Always non-intervention. Protect our knowledge and our people, and to hells with the rest of you. And yet, I can see how it happened. Varys and Father looked to their elders for guidance and took their virtues as their own. But for this world was of their making. In who else could they place their trust? All of us lost in a sea of chaos. Searching desperately for purpose and meaning. But it shouldn't just be an extension of another's. It has to be ours. It has to be. We all have a stake in this world. No one should be silenced.
I won't deny that we lack the experience of people such as Father or Quintus. Perhaps they've come to see the world as a series of problems, and the most efficient way of solving them, to reduce everything to fundamental forms.
All to ash and
A
dust.
stone is a stone, a cloud, a flower, no more than that. Simple descriptions that strip the subject of distinguishing characteristics. A man is a man, divided according to race, creed, or allegiance, and to some, defined by such associations.
Is that what you think?
In my misbegotten youth. But what I believed wisdom was no more than aggressive ignorance. I've since learned to look beyond the banners and the politics, to see people as individuals with their own hopes and dreams. As for my dream of building a better world, well, every day I'm reminded that it is far more complex than I had ever imagined. But it only spurs me onward, to find the wisdom and the strength to see it through to the very end.
All of our supplies and an immediate withdrawal. These are your conditions?
Demands. And you forgot about the airship. Once again, you will leave one behind. It will be used to return the prisoners. Their collars will be removed prior to the exchange.
So in the end, not even Father's expertly worded rhetoric could deter you from your chosen course.
Huh?
Not that I thought for a moment that it would. I've no love for violence, of course, but ours is a cause worth fighting for. I just wish he'd realize it too. Sometimes the only way to protect the ones you love is to take a stand, to refuse to suffer in silence. I want you to know I share your conviction. Whether it be on the battlefield or in the debating chamber, I won't back down. I guess what I'm saying is...
You've found your own reason to fight.
Yes. Yes, I have. God's willing, there will come a day when we can finally lay down our arms, and there will be peace. But not until the Telophoroi have been defeated once and for all. And you, brother, will have a vital part to play. By your words and deeds, you'll lead the way.
I pray I am up to the task.
There'll always be naysayers. Those who think us fools for even trying. It's easy for learned elites to criticize earnest efforts and assert their moral superiority, all without offering alternatives. Not that their sophistry has ever wounded you. So stubborn and strong. Stronger than you even know. Don't ever change, you hear me? If you stumble, I'll be there to catch you. Or give you a thick ear. Maybe both, for good measure.
Thank you, Alice.
They were being in a worse state before they got rescued, but that might be my misremembering.
The scouts have secured Alizé and Alphino. Their collars were removed without complication as well. They report no casualties, not for their party nor the guards, who will wake from their premature slumber in due course.
It would appear the situation has changed. I propose new terms. We have information that will be of great interest to Lord Quintus, and I wish to speak with him in person.
No. In the event you rejected our first proposal, we came prepared with a second.
Ambush!
More are coming! Make ready!
We, the loyal soldiers of the First Legion, proud servants of Garlemald, of the fallen Emperor Varys, shall safeguard these lands from the barbarian hordes until our countrymen return! Stop, both of you!
He just causes a blizzard.
This child may be the worst emissary I've ever seen.
We received an urgent communication from the Grand Company of Eorzea. Envoys from the Imperial Army, led by members of the 10th Legion, came to Alamigo and requested an audience. They explained that their efforts to coordinate the reclamation of the capital with the aid of the 4th, 5th, 8th, and 12th had ended in failure. Communication between most legions has broken down entirely. Most of the 10th's conscripts have deserted, leaving their forces severely depleted. That is why, unable to continue the fight on their own, they and their allies turned to the Grand Company of Eorzea for aid.
Lies! Every word!
It is the truth, and I have not finished. The 10th has requested that we deliver a message to Lord Quintus. Have the ill stand down.
You have been listening, my lord? What are your orders?
Inform her that we will honor the 10th's decision. Bereft of hope, and now dignity. I release you from your duty. All of you. I take solace, your radiance, in the knowledge you are not here to witness our debasement. 'Twas a grand, glorious dream we shared. Of a world united, of peace and prosperity. We are ghosts, you and I, memories of days gone by. Bonds forged in blood that I will not see tarnished.
I believe that's just a smaller version of a machinist arm. 'Cause I think I have at least I have a machinist weapon that looks like that.
Quickly! We have to reach the station before it's too late.
If there is still a chance that Quintus will agree to a truce, we must take it.
I just hope we get there before he and his men do something rash.
Can only hold 4 shots. Game. There we go. Much and more has occurred since last we met. As we're determining what comes next, we must speak with Lord Quintus. Finally, a hat! Before we proceed, tell me what you know of the First and the disposition of their forces. They were preparing for war while the refugees in their cave were left to go hungry, a reckless, short-sighted plan that risks the welfare of the people they are sworn to protect. Thus we cannot compel them to accept our aid. If we were to arrive in force with the intent to do so, we would only incite panic. But perhaps they can be persuaded to follow one of their own. Go with Julius back to the station and have him lead the refugees here. Some may be unwilling or unable to leave, but for the time being, I'll talk with what I take what I can get. Alpha Alice and the scouts sent to exercise them should already be at the station. I will also have our other comrades in the area lend their support should it be needed. Understood. But cabbage. Oh, what do you guys have to say about this? Thank goodness the 10th Legion decided to sue for peace. They did. We have been spared more senseless bloodshed, which is the last thing anyone, including the First, needs. From their perspective, though, the promise of reinforcements was their last hope, and now they have no chance but to capitulate to the invaders. But we will prove to them that all is not lost. We yet to stand a chance casting out the Telephoroi. Even with their empire in ruins, the Garlemald have not lost the will to fight. The strength shall serve them in the days to come. There is yet life in the cold soil. It was a great area not to post sentries further from the camp. Had we seen the Garlean sooner, we could have slain them before the truce was called. They engaged us of their own free will and decided to die warriors' deaths. Even so, I had not forgotten why we are here, and I will stay my hand for now. I've just returned from guarding the airships, and now I've got to keep an eye on the captured Imperials. Maybe a bit of chit-chat will help lighten the mood. When the Imperials charged us, we were able to avoid any serious injuries on either side. In truth, most of the Garleans were in no condition to fight. Sunken eyes, hollow cheeks. It must have been a long time since they had a decent meal. I'm sure they will be much more amenable to conversation with food in their bellies. Gem trader! Okay, now we can go forward. Hey, to be honest, they probably wouldn't have gotten very far with their whole invading the camp thing. Oh! I just wanted to come over and look at them. Because I do find these guys interesting. I don't know if they share the same model with not model, same skeleton as Odin. I don't know if they do, but it does kind of seem like they might. I also know that there's an Odin armor set, which I don't even know how to get. It might be from the Odin fight, though. Maybe there's a savage version of it. But I doubt there's one. think there's just only one Odin fight. Yeah, I remember when I fought Odin before. Like, the only time I ever fought Odin. I didn't fight it with Edgar because, you know, I don't feel like waiting for about a few hours waiting in the queue that nobody does, really. Since it's an optional trial. I don't even think I've done all the trials in A Realm Reborn. Like, I just found, when I was doing my, working on, what was it? The Realm Reborn's, weapons. I found out there was 2 trials in it that I didn't do before. I didn't expect you to arrive so soon. There's been a development. Perhaps you had best see for yourself. It's a comfort to see thee none the worse for thy recent ordeals. Edgar and Julius. We arrived just before you did, and too late. Too late for what? What happened? Yeah, see, he has the machinist's rifle. That little pistol he shot himself with. It's Lord Quintus. He took his own life. After the news about the 10th, he relieved us of our duties. Then he was alone. No, he wouldn't. Why are you injured? Thancred and the others, assisted by the soldiers, have seen to the remains. And due course shall the legatus be offered a proper burial. He released us from our duty. He wanted us to be free to choose our own fate. Without him to guide us, I have just this moment spoken with Lucia. We are already ready to commence with the transferring of the refugees here to Broken Glass, should they be willing to accept our aid. Some would rather die, but most of us just want to live. Songs and standards be damned, we just want to live. We'll need to speak with the refugees. They'll have to decide for themselves if they wish to come with us. If any prefer to stay, we can have supplies brought over for them. It'll be a hard journey for the others, but we'll see they reach our camp safely. Aye. I don't think I ever gotten a good look at the Tower of Babel. I still don't see why it's so spiky. It was only ever a dream, wasn't it, to think we could reclaim it, rebuild it all ourselves. Before this all began, I sent my wife and daughter away to the provinces. If there is a chance I might see them again, I'll take it, so take me with you, please. Put him in the bag! I still don't see how they could even drive that. How do you see? Because this is like in a railway. I mean, in a it's a metro station, so can't really exactly look out the side of it. Oh, got the Aetheryte sorted in the end. All it took was a few adjustments, and now it works as well as it ever did. From what I can tell, the one in Latrum is also functioning as normal. That's where you lot are staying, isn't it? Now, the most of us are packing up and leaving this place. I reckon there'll be more use for me and my skills over at your camp. So, they had the Aetheryte powering the train, which I guess had heaters in it. Hi. How you doing, Thancred? Best not dwell on it now when there's work to be done. I just wanted to say hi. Hey, Orange. To employ healing magics now would likely invite catastrophe, as thou canst attest from thy experience at Victor Spoils. Indeed, the Garleans view our ability to manipulate ether with the same suspicion as many Eorzeans do Magitech. Oh, it's you, the one who treated me with such kindness. I heard from the others that you're not from around here. I thought you were one of us. Not that it makes much difference now. Purebloods, migrants, savages. After a while, the words start to lose meaning, until all you're left with is anger and fear and hate, and I'm too tired. It's you and yours have come to offer aid. I'll be glad to accept. Aid the baby. We have much to discuss. Our rescue, the attack on Camp Broken Glass. We hope to talk about what we hope to talk about with Quintus. But all that can wait. More urgent matters demand our attention. Are any of the refugees willing to come to our camp? Thank the 12, thank the 12. You and I should go first and secure the route back to Camp Broken Glass. With all the creatures in tempered skulking about, I expect we'll have our hands full. This should come in handy. Conqueror's chains. Courtesy to our Lemesian friends. I save it for the tempered though. I'll make a few points that need surveying on your map. Once you've taken care of the riprap, we'll meet back at our camp. I mean, see, what was I thinking? Right, Magni, or Magnus, whatever, little son, he can use them, can't he? Like, he had them when we fought him. Again, all warriors have them by technical standards. Okay. Ethereal treated chains capable of binding even the rigorous of opponents. I still have yet to get that unlocked. I'll get that unlocked one of these days. I've only just unlocked warrior, so I mean not just unlocked. I've only at level 30 warrior. Damn, even the herbivores here are aggressive. Again, herbivores everywhere have been seen to be aggressive. Again, also the plants everywhere seem to be trying to kill us. It's more surprising when something's not trying to kill us at this point. Like, how do you see? Because we saw that there's just an engine right here. so do him first, then use the chains. Got it. I was kind of hoping that would actually show the chains like wrapping around him. Or like at least have the like chain model that you see when they use them go around him. So all these people that we're making go down are not going to be feeling better later, regardless of what we do, because of the void sense that we're using. It's taking a bit of their essence with them, a bit of their ether. So you can only imagine how well they're doing. Oh, Foos is only one level away. I forgot. Soon we'll have Foos at level 10 if we're lucky. Again, that depends if we're lucky. Who knows? I wonder why none of them really went out to hunt these guys, Zovibos, if they had weapons. There you are. As expected, I ran into a few beasts who went down without much of a fight. The tempered proved somewhat troublesome, but those chains should keep them under control until our allies take them into custody, or until they're eaten by beasts. With that taken care of, I'm going to gather a few supplies and then return to the station. While I see to that, would you mind appraising Lucia of our progress? As it happens, I have some rather pertinent information from our recent scout forays, but I'll save that for later. First things first and all that. So, I mean, there's plenty of animals for them to hunt, at least from what we've seen with the those big guys, the fishy things, and the doe that we got attacked by. Edgar, I was informed of Quintus' suicide. It must have come as a great shock to his men. What of the refugees? I'm told some were receptive to our proposal, but I would hear your first-hand account. That so many did not hesitate to accept proves how desperate their situation has become. We'll do our best to keep them feel welcome. The troops who participated in the ambush are no exception. They will be afforded the same treatment as any other refugees, properly notwithstanding. After all, even if I wanted to make an example of them, there's no one left to learn from it. We will tell our allies that these soldiers are acting under the direct orders of their legatus, and that following his suicide, they offered a full and unconditional surrender. Perhaps Quintus thought that had he lived, he would be tried as a war criminal and his men punished with him. Perhaps by taking his own life, he hoped to absolve them of any culpability, or perhaps, like too many others, he was a true believer to the end. Who can say? I didn't know the man. or his heart, his reasons, notable or otherwise, died with him, and it falls to us to clean up the mess. Yes, but hat. Like I said, this is the first time I'm seeing this set. Even though the circlet looks familiar, I can't place my finger on it. I assume you're curious about how matters have progressed here in your absence, quite well as it happens. Now that we've procured ceruleum from Tapper's Den, the recently repaired heaters can provide much needed warmth. Furthermore, we've prepared sufficient food for everyone. Those from Tetrami shall find a hot meal waiting upon their arrival. There's one for you, so go ahead and grab some well-earned rest. I believe that we're capable of wielding a ladle or two without your assistance. On your way, might I ask that you to seek out Yestola? She was but recently attending to the wounded, but she meant to be taking a rest herself. See that she is. This place just gets more and more cramped with quests. Yes, I have been taking proper breaks and getting sufficient water. But what of the Warrior of Light? You and the twins have an established history of reckless disregard of your own well-being. Well, are all fortunate that none of you landed yourselves in my care. I've already had enough to deal with, between the tempered and the first wounded. Alas, though, I commend their bodies, the toil their experiences has taken on their hearts and minds is another matter altogether. For their sakes, we mustn't waver, but nor must we reach ahead in eagerness to see the day one, and so doing invite disaster. Upon settling down for supper, several cutscenes, yada yada yada. Basically, that's just telling me, turn off your timer. Once again, we're looking at the moon. One day, Edgar will go up and punch it. One day, he'll make it to space. I didn't know we had a bard with us. I had to beat him to get him to camp.
Is that all of them?
The last of those who agreed to join us, yes.
We left heaters and provisions for those who wish to stay behind. They won't last forever, but hopefully they'll last long enough.
For now, I think everyone's earned a rest. We'll see to those in need of medical attention, so take the others with you and get yourselves some hot soup.
Sticks hand in fire.
warmth. At last.
Marvelous, isn't it? All thanks to the resourceful machinists of Ishgard, I might add. On their behalf, I bid you warm yourself to your heart's content.
As the machinist is just in the background talking.
Hold on. Your people might have scribbled a few things on a piece of parchment, but it was our Leminson Smiths that put the bloody things together.
Well, be that as it may, we single-handedly got the interior heating up and running again, didn't we?
The hells you did! We were there every step of the way.
We? You barely raised a finger to help, you ale-sodden reprobate.
I did a damn sight more than you, you lily-livered bilge rat.
Take that back.
Make me.
I will not stoop to your level.
Here.
I can't place it, but the voice, if you ever heard Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged, his voice reminds me of a character from that. I can't quite place it. I don't think it was Bakura. But I'm trying to figure out whose voice it was. Yeah, someone from Yu-Gi-Oh! Which I can't figure out.
That's ease, man. There's nothing funny in it.
It's just you're so ugly.
I'm from Alamigo, but was a conscript until recently. Used to eat this with the officers.
Apparently, it's adapted from a steppe recipe. This is my first time trying it, and I have to say, it's not half bad.
It's a bit too flavorful for my liking.
How did they get a step recipe then?
Perhaps compared to what you're used to.
It's the little things that make life worth living, don't you think?
Ah, he's ruined it by adding tears to it. So now
I know this is not a dream, and yet... I felt the same way at the Dragon Song War's end. Every morning I would step outside and need to be reminded that it wasn't my imagination, that my world had been forever changed. And just as I had grown accustomed to the idea, again you change my world in ways I never thought possible.
Probably polish your tiara.
Were it not for you and your fellow scions, the rift between man and dragon and myriad tribes might never have been bridged. The Grand Company of Eorzea, the Ilsabard contingent, we owe it all to you. We've shed many tears in recent days, of pain and sorrow, triumph and joy. I much prefer the latter. Indeed, we can but do our utmost to unite these disparate peoples and lead them to victory.
It is a remarkable achievement. Everything that I and the Populares had hoped for, and more.
Would that it had come sooner.
Indeed. Too many are not here to see it. And yet, there is a warmth in my breast, as if they still share in this moment.
Yes, I know what you mean. On a night like tonight, the wind and cold seem to pass me by.
Super flower friend. I could just put it right in the fire. I left the radio on. Oh, why did they get? What did their talismans get have an effect? That lets protection. I guess it tells them that's working.
On behalf of the Valiant, I thank you for inviting me today.
What? Emperor Varus?
Quickly, somebody hug someone who doesn't have a thingy.
They are being tempered. The talismans. Quickly!
Their eyes are on fire.
Save me, brave hero! Ahem. My lord has requested your presence, and I would hate to disappoint him.
The experiment was a success, but I fear our time is short. I shall begin the preparations.
Now, it is time for you to awaken. Good morrow to you. Here, have a taste before it gets cold. Oh, but be sure to remove your helmet. Take a moment, too, to familiarize yourself with that borrowed flesh.
The fingers are so skinny.
So, how does it feel? I, for one, find those first moments within a new body to be most refreshing. We had a Magitech engineer by the name of Aulus to thank for this method of soul extraction and implantation. I believe the two of you met briefly in Alamigo. His was a rather sticky end, wasn't it? Thankfully, he was thoughtful enough to leave behind his mind-jack technology. I took the liberty of making some improvements and selecting you as my esteemed test subject. Come now. To us Asians, it is no different from trying on new clothes. Why not make the most of it by partaking in this fine cuisine? I must say, I have gone to great lengths to reunite you with my lord. When I discovered that his friend was in this neck of the woods, I suggested inviting you over for dinner. He never deigned to respond, but I took his silence as a resounding yes. Oh my! Daddy is pleased his grumpy little boy has finally found his playmate. Ah, exposition is in order. The Garlean Empire has long outlawed all forms of religion. No gods to worship, no risk of summoning. Brilliantly simple. But people being people must turn to something or someone in their hour of need. Who then? Why, His Radiance the Emperor, of course. As you have observed firsthand, Garlemald has seen better days. The legendary Solus Osgalvus, dead. Provinces near and far in open rebellion. Our bold new emperor assassinated. And that last one even sparked a civil war. What rotten luck.
I thought Solus's death also caused a civil war. Or was that just war of a...
The people cried out for salvation. Their earnest pleas, one might even call them prayers, a supplication united for the Empire to reclaim her former glory. And so their will did manifest, channeled through the corpse of none other than Emperor Varus himself.
I never noticed the other hands grabbing upwards.
And lo, the Savior was born, the embodiment of the Garlean spirit, their anima.
It's grabbing its hair, the little hands.
It calls to its subjects, compelling them to take up arms and fight. And just as the wealth and power gravitate towards the Empire's capital, so too does ether from every corner of the globe. The towers with which you and your allies have been so preoccupied were created as an extension of Anima itself. An ingenious design. Would you not agree, my lord?
Why is this just a cup with melting butter in it?
Does the pursuit of prey you have bested before excite you? Of course not. Absent the challenge, the thrill, your prize is a hollow victory. Butchery.
You, sir, have not done that much of hunting a monster hunter, have you? Especially when you have to fight. Especially hard target multiple times to get gear. And one that you barely defeat in the first place. Especially ones that give you a good fight, too.
Perhaps you think that to be the extent of my promise. I have no doubt fallen in your estimation since Alamigo. Fair enough. But do not let your disdain deprive us, of an opportunity to craft an even more majestic moment of euphoria. I have been honing my craft as I set the stage for our reunion. Wheresoever there is suffering and despair, you appear to fulfill your duty as defender of this star. The chaos and destruction that my hordes have wrought are my gifts to you alone.
Why does he remember him without the cast? Why is there a lemon on top of it?
At a loss for words? No matter. As you will learn, I have only just begun.
Oh, will you not finish your meal?
There is only one thing that can sate my hunger, and it would seem my friend has lost his appetite. I hoped this display of civility might prove an entertaining diversion, but clearly we are above such pretensions. While my lifeless body was in the possession of the Ascians, I too claimed another's as my own. It was an enlightening experience to fight in an unfamiliar field. Flaws and failings in my technique were plain to see. Whence rises one's true strength? The flesh? The soul? Perhaps you should like to discover the answer for yourself. Or together.
Okay, what's stopping Edgar from curse stopping your body, though?
Oh dear! Whatever would happen if my lord were to greet your friends as you? I shudder to imagine what carnage he would wreak.
It's a perfectly good candelabra to shank him with.
We'd better hurry if we want to avert the bloodbath. You can thank me later for my generosity.
I guess that's how they're keeping us from killing him. Well, destroying his body at least. Fire would do wonders. And we're surrounded by it.
Ah, there it is. Your camp, I believe. If I were to hazard a guess, I would say that you, the other you, is making his way there as we speak. Alas, this you will have to walk from here. Or run, if you can manage it. My lord would be cross if I made it too easy. Such ingratitude. I'd not squander this fighting chance. After all, you've obstacles enough to overcome. Right on cue. Tempered soldiers, withstanding orders to kill those not sworn to anima. Under normal circumstances, you would make short work of them. But on this occasion, the odds are not so heavily stacked in your favor.
This one took me a while, because I got lost. Maybe fight for fight, yeah, it increases our damage dealt. And we cannot heal.
Not bad at all, given your diminished capacity. Nevertheless, 'twould perhaps be prudent to keep to the shadows, scurrying about like a rodent. This one is a difficult one for me. I've never been really good with stealth. Magic check doesn't work by the looks of it. Okay, so we need to go south. I'm probably searching the same bodies again and again. I think I would be better with stealth, since I'm so quiet most of the time, but nope. Forcing habits to body another. That would be an interesting raid mechanic. That in the raid you have to use someone else's body at one point. That was also in the raid. I've not been turned, thank goodness. I thought I was the only one left. That bastard's got my hand when they took down my Master Reaper. If you can repair its leg, though, it should still work. Here, take this key. If it runs out of ceruleum, you might be able to find more in the wreckage.
Didn't we already find a wreckage that had fuel in it? Okay, now we're back where we started. Yeah, that's the one that we found earlier. At least this guy has better lugging capabilities than the Warrior of Light. This is using Warrior of Light, we would only have 2 minutes to do this, instead of the 14 it's giving us. It's been what? Not since A Realm Reborn, since we've gotten to use one of these. Whee! Wondering how they even got this guy's spot. Thinking it could be the one that he used to get into the capital to begin with. I mean, who's getting these voids sent into the capital anyway? That's how we lost a few. Oh! I always take the last to begin to lose consciousness. Edgar has plenty of health potion, healing medical kits to use. Death's Door, gravely wounded and unable to stand, but still clinging to consciousness. I guess the explosion also took away our healing kits. Oh, we got 12 minutes to get across this way, which was a lot more than it took me. I think it took me a while to do this, or it might have been somebody else that I watched did this that took them almost a while. It has been over a year since I've done this. Since like November, like whenever it was in the same month I started first started this. Was the last time I did this.
It is a miracle we were able to restrain the Tempered without suffering casualties.
A welcome one. Arun, Senna, and the others have their hands full as it is. Thankfully, there are enough scales for everyone.
And what of Eulus? His symptoms were particularly severe.
They were, but others fared still worse, including some brought back from the Magna Glacius. As those in most desperate need take priority, it may be a while before he receives treatment. But rest assured that he will. In the meantime, we must find our missing friend. May the Fury guide you.
Of all the bloody times for a disappearing act.
Right when the first wave struck, we'd be fools to think it a coincidence. But where even to begin the search? No one saw him leave in the chaos, and we've no trail to follow.
While I know full well he can handle himself, I worry all the same.
Ah, speak of the devil.
Well, time to call off the search.
Case closed.
That's him. Over there.
Aye, 'twould appear so. Thou art struggling to perceive his presence?
I am. Perhaps, in the aftermath of the wave, there is some residual effect interfering with my faculties. But...
Where have you been? We've been worried sick.
Now. All's well that ends well. Are you all right?
Are you all right?
Who are you?
Sadly, that is all we have time for today. The effect has run its course, and back to your own bodies you must go. But where are my manners? You have all traveled so very far, and I have yet to pay my respects. Though in my defense, I was ill-prepared to receive so many uninvited guests. As such, preliminary entertainments were in order. A handful of tempered soldiers to hamper your progress. Refugees to command your attention while I siphon the ceruleum from the shadows. Particularly effective. Charitable souls that you are, you bent over backwards to aid them, heedless of the delay, predictable to a fault. And so my plan approaches completion unhindered. Anima will soon have absorbed the requisite amount of ether, and then shall come the spectacle to end all spectacles. The eldest and most powerful of primals will awaken, and all shall bear witness to the final days!
The gods themselves will be my meal. Your dear companions my dessert. Upon this world I'll feast, and death shall follow in my wake. All your hate, all your rage, you will render unto me.
For that bit, when I did this with my character, I had the full,
For upon thy life's reel wind too many threads of fate, power, wheel enmeshed with woe. More terrible still is the attrition wrought upon thy companions, as they are swept up in the storm of thine existence. Take heart and protect them well. They will be your strength and your salvation.
I had the spellcasting crypt set, so you couldn't see my character's face that entire thing through.
Thank goodness. He's awake.
I am pleased to report you are very much alive.
Everything in working order? That's a relief. Oh, and before I forget, thanks for coming to our rescue.
Given recent events, I would be surprised if you weren't feeling a bit poorly. A hearty meal and a long rest would be my recommendation under normal circumstances, but these are anything but. If Van Daniel's boasts are to be believed, we must act quickly. Once you've blown away the cobwebs, we can discuss preparations for our assault on the Tower of Babel.
Yeah, my character just had the full set, so you could not see his face or anything. So that scene looks a bit... cabbage? I guess the cabbage didn't make the noise. You're certain you're well, nothing out of place, no missing bits. Good, though I wouldn't promise the same for Fandaniel and Xenos after I'm through with them. How much must these people suffer before they're satisfied? How many cruel, pointless tricks must they play? Prelude to the final days or no, this ends now. And with that, that'll be the end of this episode. I'll see you all in the next.